Hey YouTube world, it's your girl Dana Monet again, here to recap your favorite reality singing competition shows. And today I am going to be discussing The Voice Season 10, the conclusion of the battle rounds. Now, I have been extremely happy and excited when I have been discussing The Voice thus far the last 3 weeks. I'm like, it's slaying my life, it's doing everything it's supposed to do, the talent is amazing. But there is somebody, I don't even know if I'm going to say his name because it's just going to make me mad. But there is a coach on the panel who is filling me with so much rage right now. It's just ridiculous. So it's coming. So I'm going to use this. This is going to be my first venting episode of The Voice. But before I get into the venting and my unrelenting rage towards somebody named Ladam Aveen, thou shall not be named. Thou who shall not be named. I'm going to go ahead and get into what I liked. And I'm going to actually preface this by saying that night 4 of the battles was a complete wash. Like, I mean, nothing happened. Like, they could have saved like a really, really big one for that last night. Like, you know, that California Dreamin' one, they could have saved for that. They could have even like tacked that, you know, Man's World at the end, or like, you know, the Lady Marmalade. It was just, that last night of the battle rounds was very, very anticlimactic. So I didn't really like any of the battles on that night. And I was upset that Joe May's battle, who did that amazing duet with Christina in the blinds, his battle got montaged. I was very upset about that. I would have rather have seen that than the 3 battles that they showed. I will say that. But I'm not even going to discuss that because it was a wash. So I'm going to get into what I liked and who I liked. And then we're going to talk about that man. So, Team Christina, California Dreamin', Allison Porter versus Lacey Mandigo. I have to say, first off, Lacey, just knowing that you're going to be paired with Allison Porter, like, it's almost like, I guess her name should be Allison the Voice Porter. Like, is she going to win? You know, but, you know, I'll talk about more of that perspective in a minute. But you have to know that she getting paired up with her, that it's like, it's a done deal. Like Allison is like a beast. Like, she's literally ridiculous. And she definitely did not disappoint. But this Lacey girl, she said, hold up. Nope. I'm going to come out here and I'm going to have my husky round tone with that little bit of rasp. I'm going to put in my little Christina Aguilera isms. Oh, yeah. And I'm going to get that steal, though. I'm going to get that steal. So the way that I viewed this battle, which it was actually like really, really epic. I wasn't sure about this song, but I was like, it just had this like big build up. California dreaming on such a winter's day. And then like Allison does the harmony and she's like, oh, I don't even know where she is, somewhere up there. But this battle was actually like really, really epic. And like, you know, Adam and Blake, I should have said that man and Blake, we're going back and forth about, you know, what Allison can do versus what Lacey can't do. And clearly there are 2 different voices. That doesn't mean that Lacey doesn't have a great voice, because she does. I actually really, really love the tone of her voice. I actually prefer the tone of her voice more than Allison's. But Allison just has so much control and range over her voice. It like kind of trumps it. And I think it was like actually pretty close. I don't think that Allison like beat her by a mile or anything like that. Actually, this might be a little bit unpopular, but I think it was pretty neck and neck in terms of it. Like, of course, Christina's not dumb. She's going to go with Curly Sue. Like, let's just be real on that. I would go with Curly Sue. But if I wasn't Christina, I would also hit my button for Lacey and steal her, as Blake did. And that was very, very correct of Blake. And Blake steals this season. Wonderful, wonderful. Have no complaints about that from his department. So I just, I know that they're setting Allison up to be like the Jordan Smith of this season, or the Sora Fredericks, or the Cassidy Pope, or the Danielle Bradbury, or whatever the case may be. I'll tell you this much. If she sings like that every week and slays my everlasting life, I'm not mad. I will, however, say this, though. I don't think that she has it in the bag. I honestly don't. And as amazing as she is, as amazing as her voice is, as versatile as she is, I don't think that she has it in the bag. And you want to know why? Because she's a woman. I don't think that a woman ever has it in the bag on these reality singing competition shows. I guess maybe Danielle Bradbury did, and maybe Cassidy still had to come into, her own or whatever, but I never feel like a woman has it in the bag on these shows. And, there hasn't been a female that's won The Voice since Tessanne Chin back in season 5. So, and Tessanne Chin's voice is amazing, but it was still stiff competition. So, so we'll see. And plus there's a lot of talent this season. So I'm not calling Allison the winner yet. But she's called The Voice because her voice is just it's kind of amazing, so big ups to that battle. That was my favorite battle of the week. And then my second favorite battle, I don't even necessarily know if this was my second favorite, because depending on how I feel, I actually may have liked this particular battle better. It just depends on what I want. Do I want a battle or do I want a duet? So if I want a duet, Team Pharrell, Sugar, Abby Celso versus Brian Nira. I loved this because it was literally like a duet. I absolutely loved the arrangement. I loved them singing together. Their voices complemented each other so well. I wasn't really checking for Brian in the blind auditions. He sang Happy. I don't like it when people sing Happy as an audition song, as a performance song. I don't really care for it. It's just a song that you just hear on the radio and you're just because I'm happy. And you do stuff with it. That's just how I feel. However, Abby, I loved her in the blind auditions. So I was definitely rooting for her. And I loved, Brian's upper register, how he was hitting those notes in full voice. It was just right on, and their harmonies were right on. And I absolutely, absolutely love Abby's tone. I feel like her tone is so unique. And her lower register is cool. Blake said something about how he didn't like her falsetto because it gets opera-y. I don't necessarily hear opera. It's just control. It's just a different sound. Her tone is just a little bit different, but she's got some flavor. She did Tori Kelly in the blind auditions. I'm really, really feeling Abby. I kind of want her to do some real R&B, for real R&B. You know what I mean? And not pop songs that have an R&B flair. I want to hear her do some R&B because I think her voice really suits that. I didn't necessarily, the other coaches are entitled to their own opinion of the fact that they would pick Brian, and I'm perfectly fine with that. He was great. He was amazing. But I would have picked Abby, not for the reason that Pharrell did, because he was just okay, well, all of y'all would rather have Brian. And he's I'm just praying that somebody steals Brian. So I think I'm going to pick Abby. I would pick Abby because I genuinely thought that she was amazing. I think that she was great. I don't really think you could have gone wrong either way, but I think that, and maybe because I loved her blind audition more, I think her tone and her very round tone and her range, you don't necessarily think she has the range like she does, but she does. I just think that gave her a little bit of the edge to me. So I'm definitely really excited about Abby. And I'm happy that Brian got stolen. I'm saying this now because in the moment I was happy who Brian picked as his new coach, only because Christina's team is just freaking ridiculous. And she has a lot of, black male R&B singers on her team and everything like that. So, it's where are you going to fit in the mix? It's not anybody like Brian on the other man's team. So, I can I could understand that. So I think it was a smart choice in that sense. But I love that battle. I love the sugar. Like, I love the beginning. It was slow. Just love it. Their harmonies were glorious. I love that one. That was like a serious duet. I love when people turn these battles into an actual duet and they're singing together. It's like, it's amazing. I love it. So the next battle that, I liked, I didn't love it, but I liked it. It was Team Christina, the Turning Tables, with Daniel Pacino versus Kristen Marie. And Daniel actually won that battle. And, I kind of get it. He was very, very solid. His pitch was right on. He did some nice things with his voice. But I have to say that I found Daniel's tone and voice like a little bit generic. Like it's a lot of people, that sound like him. And it was kind of like a plain white t-shirt. Like it's nice. It's clean. I'd wear it. But, it doesn't have the pizzazz. Whereas Kristen's voice is kind of like, in the best possible way. So it's almost like giving her Adele, which, she sounds kind of like Adele, was like a blessing and a curse. It's a blessing because you're getting something that's completely in your wheelhouse and you don't necessarily have to step out of your comfort zone a lot. And you've probably been singing this song for like the past 5 years. But it's a curse because because you sound so much like Adele, you're trying to fight against that comparison and do different things with the melody. Like she can't help the tone of her voice. If she sounds like Adele, she sounds like Adele. But to me, I feel like she did more interesting things melodically than Daniel did. And it's not even just that. Her voice is just very interesting to me. It's, it's like this moody, haunting thing. Like I was really pushing for her to like make the playoffs. So I was disappointed actually that she didn't win this battle. And, nobody stole her or anything like that. But it's okay. It's okay. She wasn't somebody that I was like, ugh, like the next person I'm going to talk about. But that was like a tiny injustice that I feel. But I don't feel like Daniel was like undeserving of the win, if that makes sense. Like I can understand. Do you get what I'm saying? So that's how I feel about that battle. Now, before I get into my unrelenting rage, I'm just going to briefly touch on the other battles and just say who won, since I'm not going to discuss in detail all of the battles. Team Blake, Can't You See? Adam Wakefield beat Jared Harder. I mean, Adam's voice is just like, it's just money. It's like money raining down at the club. Like his voice and his choices and his runs and his falsetto, he's just like so easy, like a Sunday morning. Like I love his voice, and we all know that I am not a big country fan. I will listen to him all day, and I'm excited to hear him do like some soul, like some bluesy stuff, and really get into it and great. Like he has a great voice. And Team Pharrell, Emily Keener versus Jonathan Bach. They sang Explosions by Ellie Goulding. Emily won. Didn't really care. I still don't understand why she got 4 chairs to turn in the blinds. I couldn't get with it. And montage battles of night 3. Mushmi won against Jonathan Hutcherson. Angie Kielhauer won against Teresa Guidry, however you pronounce that. And Catherine Ho won against Lily Green. Oh, and Mushmi is on Team Pharrell. Angie's on Team Blake, and Catherine is on Team Adam. And just so you know, Catherine Ho and Lily Green were montaged twice in their blinds and in the battle. And Teresa Guidry was also montaged twice. And yeah, so just fun fact on that. And then from the last night of the battles, Team Blake, Brittany Kennel versus Trey Odell. Brittany won and Trey was stolen by Christina. Okay. Team Pharrell, Katy Peters versus Joe Vivona. They sang Honesty by Billy Joel. Katy Peters won, although I kind of feel like Joe kind of edged her out on that one. And then Team Adam, Honky Tonk Women, Laith Al-Sadi versus Matt Tedder, and Laith won because his voice is just like crazy with the growls. I thought that battle would be more interesting. with the electric guitars. I thought they was going to have like electric guitar. Like, just give me like 25 seconds of it. Like, and there was like nothing. The pace of that was so slow. It was like annoying. And then the montaged battles, Team Adam, Owen Danoff beat John Gilman. Team Blake, Peyton Parker beat Gina Costanzo, who was also montaged twice, by the way, Gina was. And Team Christina, Joe May beat Ayana Janet, which, again, I feel like they should have aired that battle. And Joe seemed really, really surprised. And I actually put the studio version of that battle in my favorites on Apple Music, because I actually did like the studio. And listening to the studio version, Ayana might have edged him out a little bit, but I love Joe. So I'm really happy that Christina held on to one of her special flowers. Unlike Adam Levine, like I'm gonna lose you, Caroline Burns versus Mike Schiavo. Excuse my French, YouTube world, but Adam Levine, what the fuck is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? Like, oh my God. There were so many things wrong about what Adam did. It makes zero sense. Zero sense. First of all, why would you pair a grown man who is against a 15-year-old that looks like she's 10? Not only a grown man, but a grown man in his blind audition that basically sang a song about hooking up in the club. And then you pair him with a 15-year-old and you give them a love duet. Like, not even just like a random song. It's got to be about love, and it's a duet. And ask them to sing together. Like, how awkward is that? That's number one. And then in the package before the performance, he's all like, I know this may seem like an odd pairing, but sometimes the really odd ones turn out great. And like, he had zero reason for pairing them two together. And I could think of other partners that would have been so much better for both of them, actually. And I didn't necessarily have a problem with the song. I do like that song. And a lot of people were saying that the song didn't really suit Mike's voice, but I kind of think that it did. And I think that he did his thing on that song. And especially since it's Meghan Trainor featuring John Legend, and John Legend has that raspy kind of husky voice like Mike does. So I don't really agree with that sentiment that people are talking about. But unfortunately, before this battle aired, I did happen to accidentally see a spoiler on YouTube that said, "Too bad Caroline beats Mike in the battles." And I was like, oh no, I don't want to see that. And I was like, okay, like, just tell me that it's not true, and just tell me that he at least gets stolen or whatever. So I was like, okay, if she beat him, maybe he totally like crashed and burned. Like, maybe like everything was, off pitch, or I was even thinking that maybe it'd be montage. Like, I don't know, like maybe he just completely screwed it up. The song started and he started singing the song, and I heard that tone. I heard his tone, the tone that I love so much. And y'all know I'm obsessed with Talking Body. Like, I am literally obsessed. And even now that he lost the battle, like, I literally listen to it on repeat even more, just thinking about the dumbass that is Adam Levine with his now blonde hair. And then in the knockouts, he's dyeing it pink. I don't know what the hell that man is doing with his hair. Anyway, but I heard his tone. I was like, he sounds so great. And then Blake made a comment about how, he seemed like he was stepping off and like making it the Caroline show or whatever. I didn't see that. I just saw him, like Christina said, him being respectful to who he was singing with or whatever. But, at the end of the day, if you're really smart, it don't matter who you singing with. If you singing with a 15-year-old, if you singing with a 50-year-old, you go out in them battles and you bust out all the tricks. It was probably other stuff that he could have did on the song, but maybe didn't want to overpower her. And to me, vocally, he was overpowering her. Like, let's not get it twisted. I am not hating on Caroline Burns. I actually rather enjoyed her blind audition of So Far Away. I do feel like she still needs time to grow. Like, she's not like Shalia as far as 15 goes. Like, she's not at that level, like, at all. And it annoyed the hell out of me when Blake was all like, oh, you're so cute, aren't you? And then Christina had to check him, like, gave him the side eye, like, Like, ain't nobody got time for that. Like, yes, she's 15, but she's not a baby, Blake. Like, come on. So at the end of the day, it was just like, Adam was like, I have to pick the person that I feel like I can move forward with and that could potentially win. So we think that Caroline Burns can win against Allison Porter, Brian Bautista, Ryan Quinn, Adam Wakefield, Malik Hurd, Joe May, like, I mean, Maya Smith, Hannah Houston, Abby Salsa. We think that Caroline Burns can beat all of them. We think that she can do that. Okay. So anyway, it's my side eye again to Adam. So Mike, like, first of all, I love his voice. I've expressed this before. I love the tone of his voice. I love like the rasp and the husky. Like, I think he did a great job. He more than deserved to win that battle. My biggest problem with it was the fact that they were paired together. And I didn't like the fact that, like, it seemed like he just picked Caroline because she's like the cute little girl. Like, she's not the cute little girl that's going to win this show. Not this season. She's not. She's not. Now, if she was a cute little girl and she sang like Jackie Lee from season 5, then I'm not mad at that. But she's not Jackie Lee, people. She's not. She's not. Maybe if she was on Team Blake, but not even this season. There's too many amazing singers. Like, I don't see it. And I could have been okay with Caroline moving to the next round if she had a different battle round partner. Like those two girls that he paired together, Catherine Ho and Lily, that in their battle was Montage. Why not have paired Caroline with one of those girls? And then she would have won that battle and I would have been perfectly fine with it. I think that Mike would have sounded amazing if he was paired with Natalie Yakovazzi, because I think that both of their tones and voices really work together. They will have like kind of that husky, like, tone to their voices, and especially singing this song, or even if they would have sang Hollow, didn't matter. I think it would have really, really worked nicely, harmony wise and everything like that. So that to me was a bad pairing. And then this is the worst part about it. Mike was, to me, like one of Adam's favorites. You know, in the blind audition, like Adam got hype and he was like, I mean, he sang with the boy and everything, showing him the chords of She Will Be Loved. He stood up for his performance. I was like, I thought that was Adam's bro. Like, I thought he was like way Team Mike. So I was like, I don't have any problems with this. He's just going to sail into the live rounds and he's going to be going hard. No. There had to have been something that happened in rehearsal or something that wasn't aired that Mike did to piss Adam off. Creatively, they just didn't mesh, or like something. Like, I don't know what the issue was with that. And but I don't like it when coaches don't pick contestants because of personal reasons. It should be about the voice. That's what it should be about. Put the personal aside, people, if that was the case. To me, there's no other reason why Mike shouldn't have won that battle. He absolutely should have won. And not just because I feel like he won the battle, but because he has more of a potential to be able to win. No, he doesn't have the strongest voice in the competition, but he has a very distinctive voice, a very recognizable voice, a lovely, beautiful, like sexy even tone. And he sounds like money on a recording. Like, this is like iTunes gold. Like, I could see like him going to the top 10 on iTunes every week during the finals, like giving Curly Sue a run for her money on that iTunes, like seriously. And there are so many people online that are not feeling this outcome. And again, I am not hating on Caroline. I actually like Caroline. I actually thought she sounded pretty on the song. I think that she actually sounds a lot like Meghan Trainor, singing it. So I'm not mad about Caroline. I am mad at Adam. That is who I am mad at. So I want to make that clear. But on the video on YouTube, everybody is like, hashtag bring Mike back, bring Mike back. And there's a rumor that they're going to do like the comeback kids thing like they did last season, which was really, really exciting. So I'm hoping that that's true. I'm crossing my fingers. And I hope to God that Adam and his dumbass becomes smart again and brings Mike back, because it just needs to happen. So I'm praying that there is going to be a comeback. Like, I know that this guy is going to continue to make music. Like, I get it, but I really wanted to continue hearing him on the show. Like, I wanted to hear him sing another song by himself. Like, I want to hear the studio recordings. Like, he sounds amazing in the studio. Like, it's ridiculous. I would totally listen to an album of his. I don't really buy albums unless it's Beyonce. So I'm just putting it out there right now. But I do have Apple Music, which I subscribe to, which I do have to pay for. So I guess you could say I'm paying for music in a sense. But I would definitely be listening to his stuff on repeat. So I'm very, very upset about Mike being eliminated for all of the reasons that I mentioned and more. I just don't understand what Adam is doing. Everybody is like, what the F? Like, nobody understands. Like, nobody gets it. There's like 5% of people who genuinely thought that Caroline won that battle. Like, I don't get Adam. Like, I don't. And I thought that Pharrell was the most unpredictable coach. Now Adam is, because I don't know what the hell Adam is doing. Like, I honestly don't. Like, I thought that he likes his bros. So like, yeah, so like they would make it. Like, I don't understand. I'm thoroughly confused. I'm thoroughly confused. Adam now has the weakest team. And I will say this, because of the Mike Schiavo fiasco, I had to look at spoilers, because I no longer want to be surprised and shocked that a favorite of mine gets eliminated. I'm not going to discuss the spoilers, but I have looked at the spoilers. I am aware of who is mostly confirmed for the top 20. So I know what happens for the most part in the knockouts. So I know. So I'm not going to discuss it. You know, I know when I did the Idol recaps, I was very like specific, no spoilers, and I was good. I didn't look at spoilers, but I think because this happened, I had to look at spoilers, because I just had to make sure my peoples was still there. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to discuss it, but you can check them out for yourself if you'd like to, but if not, that's perfectly fine. But yeah, I'm thoroughly upset, and I talked about this for a long time, and I could spend a long time talking about this, but y'all don't have time for that. I don't have time for this. I don't have time for Adam. So there you go. That's the end of my rant and my rage. By the time the battle rounds was over, I was like, okay, this is just done. I'm ready for the knockouts. I'm ready for people to be singing their songs individually. They gave a little preview. Miley Cyrus is going to be the advisor. I really liked Rihanna last season. So Miley and her twerking antics, she sounded very, astute, and she gave like sound advice. I mean, sometimes it's kind of hard to take her seriously based on the way she looks, but I think she definitely is going in there knowing what she's talking about. So I'm excited for the knockout rounds, and I'm even more excited for when the live round starts. So I'll see you guys later on this week or Monday when I recap American Idol, and next week when I recap The Voice again. So until next time, see you later. Bye.